head coach, David Fizdale, and 7-time NBA champion, Robert Horry. Coming up, guys.
Big shot.
Woo! Coming up, James Harden posting a triple-double in his Nets debut over the weekend. He said, "It was easy out there." Must be nice. Robert's going to tell us why it may be just a little too soon to just crown flat out the Nets. Stick around for that. First, though, I do want to circle back to the legacy of civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., assassinated, of course, April 4th, 1968, outside of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And Coach, I do want to ask you more about this. While you were coach of the Grizzlies, you made a point of, with your team, touring the National Civil Rights Museum, which is built around the Lorraine Motel.
Yeah.
What stood out to you the most when you were there?
Well, first off, it just moves you immediately understanding the significance of what happened in that moment and understanding what it did to our country, what it did to the black community, what it did for black and white relations in our country. And you feel it, the gravity of it as you pass through it. In that moment there, well, they let us stand in the spot where he was killed. And for me, I think what broke me down was, here I am, a black man. I'm the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. And I'm 2 generations removed from a sanitation worker from Mississippi who went through Jim Crow, my grandfather. And that is who Dr. King was there fighting for, was the sanitation workers. And for some reason, it overwhelmed me. It still overwhelms me now to think about just 2 generations later what we've accomplished, where we are now. And so the best way we can honor him is to pay that forward and continuing to serve and trying to change the world.
Yeah, for me, that, even though I haven't had a chance to tour that, just watching you in that moment, it gets emotional, especially being a black man from the South, because you see all the trials and tribulations that black people have to go through and what we have to overcome. And it's just so heart-wrenching and so heartfelt that people around the world are really now trying to see what is going on in this country. And I know right now everybody wants this to be full force and to happen now because that's the day and age we live in, but it's going to be baby steps. Just think about it. I just talked about not having MLK Day when I played, now we have one. And hopefully by the time our grandchildren, our children's children have this moment, it is equality. And it's just a moment, we're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to work towards it, and we're not just got to sit back and stay silent, because when you silence, things don't happen. So we still got to keep our voice and keep that message in front so we can move forward.
Absolutely.
And the celebration of Martin Luther King, of course, also a celebration of so many men and women who have made so much progress pushing this country forward in the battle for civil rights. Clearly still going on today. It's important to recognize just the breadth of the movement, that there were so many people who put their lives, their families on the line because the change had to come. And we have so much respect for all of them, and it's up to all of us to keep doing it. And we'll be talking about it throughout the show today. I do want to get to a little basketball, too, because earlier today, James Harden posting a thread of tweets, guys, thanking the city of Houston, thanking the Rockets organization, saying the city has given me everything I could ask for and more. He goes on to write he's forever indebted to the city and, quote, "It's far from a goodbye as I pay all of my debts." As for Harden's future, we did get our first look at him as a member of the Nets alongside KD on Saturday. He had 32 points, 14 assists, 12 rebounds. Oh, by the way, KD dropped 42 after the game. James said, quote, "It was easy out there." Harden responsible for 63 points against the Magic when you look into, between third most all-time for a debut in NBA history, behind his Rockets debut 2012, Kyrie's Nets debut last season. Kyrie, of course, sat out Saturday's game, and just reported by Woj, Kyrie is also going to miss tonight's game against the Bucks on TNT as he works his way back into playing shape after missing what will now be 7 games due to personal reasons. Robert, James said it was easy. How easy do you expect it to be for the Nets moving forward?
This is one of these projects that you have to wait and see, because when you come to a team for the first time, you're excited. So you have all this energy, you have all this emotion. And you want to see how this is going to work out in 10 more games. Will you have that same energy and that same emotion, and will your teammates feel the same about you? Because we know James has a tendency to hold the ball and dribble, but when he's doing that and you're losing, how are your teammates going to react? Because right now, this is the honeymoon.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah, everyone's happy. And we want to see how this wedding, this match can be, 20 games in, 10 games in, because that's when the true team is going to emerge. Because right now, like I said, this is the honeymoon. Everybody's happy during the honeymoon.
Well, I think we're not going to see this team lose too much. It's just too much talent. There's too much shooting on the floor. I think you're going to see this team play very well, very fast, and you can see the transition was pretty seamless. Why is that? Mike D'Antoni, maybe?
Yes.
But see, look at this. James Harden making plays off the pick and roll. KD's such a big target. He can hit him out there, get him easy shots. These are cake shots for KD. He don't even have to work for these right here because James Harden draws so much attention. But this is the play. James Harden recognizes immediately that KD has the mismatch. KG swings it to Brown, who is the other. And if they keep making plays like this, that's when they're going to be dangerous. When they don't care who the next guy is and they trust that next guy, they trust the pass. With that much talent, it's going to be very hard to deal with them.
And by the way, that could be Kyrie in the corner next time, eventually, right? I mean, that's the idea. So swing to Kyrie. So you've got a little bit of
Or just switch them all around.
Right.
I mean, it's just going to be like whoever has the matchup, that guy's going to have the ball and he's going to create. And as long as he keeps trusting his guys, good things are going to happen for this team.
Yeah, and we see teams that cruise through a regular season and then at the playoffs it gets harder. What do you think they...
He knows.
I'm being diplomatic. It's a holiday. What do you think, Robert, what is sort of the thing that they have to work on throughout the regular season? Because Fizz is right. There's going to be a lot of nights it's just kind of easy and one ball out there. And so what do they need to work on and sharpen so when they get to those tougher tests in the playoffs, they can be up for them?
It's going to boil down to teamwork.
Yeah.
And it sounds simple, but it is because Kyrie is a ball handler, and how he's going to react with James handling the ball. And I think KD is the one who's going to sit back because I think he can realize, hey, I don't have to use that much energy handling the rock. I can come off screens and shoot the ball, but we always talk about the offensive end, but we also have to know they got to play defense, and they lost their three best defensive players. So it's really going to be interesting how they can mix that all together on both ends.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because these guys are all capable of playing good team defense. KD especially, Kyrie has done it. James has even done it. I know his reputation, but he's done it if he wants
he
to.
Said, I live in Houston.
He just hasn't bought into it that often. Yeah, I'm deferring to the guy with the 7 rings. I want to get to Karis LeVert. Moved from the Nets, of course, to the Pacers as part of that 4-team trade. But news over the weekend, he is out indefinitely after an MRI revealed a small mass on his left kidney during a physical prior to finalizing the trade. Now, the Pacers talked about the fact that they discussed, should we void the deal, right? And Robert Horry, you told the story on Friday's show about you were part of a trade for Sean Elliott when a physical revealed part of his kidney problem, and that deal was voided. The Pacers decided, though, they did want to stick with the trade. Brooklyn sent an additional $2.6 million to Indy to ensure that the deal held up, so I'm sure that helps too. LeVert will undergo further medical tests. Of course, the entire NBA community hopes to see Karis back out on the court as soon as possible, and it is a good sign, not to get into his private medical business, but the fact that the Pacers decided, after seeing his records and seeing the MRI, we don't consider this such a long-term problem. We want to keep him. That's just good to sort of know, as we all think and wish the best for him, that hopefully it's not a super significant life-altering type of thing and he can get treatment, get back on the court as soon as possible. Another team in that deal, the Cavaliers, we learned that they intend to trade or waive 2019 first-round pick Kevin Porter Jr. during an outburst he had Friday after finding out his locker was given to Taurean Prince, who was acquired in that deal. Porter's locker had been moved to a different side. Now, Porter hadn't played this season for unspecified personnel reasons. And we, of course, know that he had a legal incident, that they were trying to get him some help. According to reporting, this was first reported by The Athletic, confirmed by ESPN, that Porter reportedly got into a screaming match with Cavs brass and threw some food in the locker room. Remember, J.R. Smith threw the bowl of chicken tortilla soup years ago? I don't know what it is about food in the Cavaliers locker room, but there you go. After that altercation, Porter was told to clean out his locker. Other members of the roster were informed he would no longer be on the team. As mentioned, The Athletic first reported this incident. Coach Fizz, what is your reaction to this?
It's sad, you know, because obviously you're starting to see continuous incidents happen, and you hate to see that kind of spiral start to take place with a kid. And, you know, I know as a black coach, you said that term a lot this show already, but as a black coach, knowing what some of these kids go through to get to where they are. And a lot of people don't understand it, but a lot of these kids, and I'm not excusing him for his behavior, but a lot of these kids suffer trauma. When you grow up in a neighborhood where gunshots is ringing out all the time, or the potential for you to get robbed is there all the time, or the police is you know, basically occupying your neighborhood, there's trauma that comes with that. And I can tell you from the standpoint of my own personal trauma, because I lived in a neighborhood like that, and I know where this kid is from. And so it's unfortunate to see him in these circumstances. You hope that people around him can help him and galvanize him and get his career and his life back on the right track to where, because he's super talented. An NBA player is not the question. It's can he can he get all of the other stuff taken care of? And, you know, I know JB and them try to do everything they can for the kid. Hopefully it works out for him.
You know, when these kids come out of college and they have these issues, people sometimes think, oh, he has money, he's in the NBA, he has this status, that these problems might go away. And this is not always the case. And I think these teams, they don't think like this. They think, for me, I think every team should have a former player or a player that's looked up to on their team. You know, I would recommend, you know, director of player personnel, something like that, where these guys can go to in confidence. I'm not saying a therapist or anything like that, but someone they can go to in confidence, say, yo, I have this issue, I have this problem, so they can talk to someone, so they can have a big brother or a father figure they can talk to, because these guys sometimes need an outlet. And you have outlets on the court like that when you burst out because you can't go to someone and yell and scream at them and curse them out. I even tell my kids, some days, if you want to be a friend, you need to let some things out. Do it, because once you get it off your chest, you're going to feel better, then we can solve the problem.
Right, and teams do have those resources now, more so than when back in the day. But it's also up to the players sometimes to take advantage of them. And as you point out, guys can be a little closed off about that stuff because they've dealt with so much.
Trust issues. Like some of these guys are really, they don't trust anybody to tell anybody anything. And what he's talking about is really important. I really spent a lot of time with the Knicks, bringing back all of the former Knicks, trying to get them talking to the guys, engaging with them about their experiences, their ups, their downs, the pitfalls of the game, things that can happen at home, things that can happen with family. And so that is a critical part of our job for these young guys. And hopefully, again, can we get him back and get him on track to be a good professional and live a good life?
Well, we will keep watching that one. All right, coming up, Zion Williamson played a little bully ball against the Kings on Sunday.